All right. Oh no.
Yikes. I'm in planning mode right now. There's this section of trail about an hour north of me in Napa County that I've heard about for a long time, but it was always so short that I just didn't think it would be worth it to go out there and ride. But I've heard that this trail has now extended up a few more miles where I could do an out and back, and maybe it would be a 15-mile round trip with a lot of climbing. So this journey was a little convoluted, but I'll try to do my best to explain what I did. So I went on Strava Segment Explorer, and I went to the section of the map where I already knew a trail existed. This is Moore Creek Park. This is called Valentine Vista. And then I kind of poked around, and then I saw that, wait a second, it's still going, it's still going, it's still extending. Okay, maybe we've got a new section of trail here. So from here, I started clicking around on the segments, and I looked at the individual segments themselves. Strava takes a long time to load now. I don't know what's going on. So then you start looking at rides that people do, and you start poking around. You're like, okay, May 11th, March 31st, 2018. This is pretty recent. And I'm looking at this guy's ride. Where did he start? Where did he finish? How did he do it? Okay, he started way up in Angwin. That's not really what I want to do, but bits and pieces of this ride, holy moly, how long? 35 miles, 4 hours? No, thank you. But this is how you kind of do it. You start figuring out where did they start? Where did they finish? And you start to get an idea of what you want to do. So once I had an idea that it was possible to do a ride in this area and that the segments existed and people have been riding them for a little while, I went and searched on Trail Forks, and this is the Valentine Vista Trail on Trail Forks. And then I went to Ride Logs, and now you can see everybody who's ridden Valentine Vista Trail that's actually attached their Strava or whatever they use to Trail Forks. And then you can start to see, okay, this guy did a 20-mile ride, 24-mile, 18-mile, 14-mile. And you start poking around on these ride logs and find a ride that looks like it's what you want to do. And I really wanted to make sure that the first trail was Valentine Vista and that it was about 15 miles. So I'm going to check out this guy's ride. And this was pretty much the ride that I had planned in my mind. So you start down at Lake Hennessy, you climb up, you go almost all the way to Angwin, and you turn around, you come back down, and then you climb back up Valentine Vista and you go down. So this was like a perfect model for what I want to do. So I just want to do this route. So I'm going to hit copy to ride plan on Trail Forks, and then it creates this kind of blue thing, which is the ride plan. And then you can download the GPX if you want to, you can print it out. I'm going to do save and share. And then I'm gonna call this Angwin, and I'm gonna save it. So now I'm in Trail Forks on my phone. I click that 3 little lines at the top left. I go to My Routes. I pull down the routes because that makes it sync from the website. I click on Angwin, boom. And this is the route that I just saved, and now it's on my phone. Now I know I can have the blue dot in GPS. And it doesn't even matter if these trails are on Trail Forks or not. This whole section of trail here, which I think is called Dan's Wild Ride, hasn't been added to Trail Forks yet. Even though it is public, it's open, just someone hasn't done it yet. And so I still have the yellow line, and I'll have my blue dot if I go up on this trail and to guide me along the whole way. Okay, that's not my best how-to video, but at least it shows kind of different angles than what I showed in that other video of how to find mountain bike trails. This was a totally different method, using Strava, going through, getting it on Trail Forks, getting it on my phone. So now let's get going. Let's actually go ride this thing. Google Maps had me take the back way up, and this is beautiful. This rural Napa County. It's almost as nice as North Carolina. A lot of memories taking this road as a kid. We'd go up here with my dad in our bass boat, go to Lake Berryessa, do some fishing. Lots of windy roads. Pretty much always feel car sick by the end of it. Trying to catch fish. I don't know if we caught anything. I do remember driving the boat around, and that was tons of fun. There's a lot of fire damage through here. This area was definitely hit hard last year by the fires. Okay, looks like we made it. I really have no idea what to expect out here, which is always great. I love being surprised by a trail. I brought my mini knee pads instead of my bigger knee pads that I've been getting annoyed with. So I'll wear these today. Maybe I'll need them. One of the trails is called Dan's Wild Ride, so hopefully it'll be a wild ride. Get some sunscreen on me here. Oh no, it's all the way in the back. For a guilt-free adventure, place your donation here.
Okay, let's roll. Pretty warm right here. Got to be at least 80 degrees. Stagnant air, but it is beautiful. I'm gonna climb this for as long as I can. On the way back, I'm gonna take the single track called Valentine Vista. But I don't know if it's already shot off or joined up. I'll figure it out later. Okay, now I see the single track that I was just talking about. Sweet. Dry foot trail. Now I'm confused. That sign looks brand new too. So this yellow line is the route that I loaded in that some random guy did and I wanted to follow. And I actually think it looks like he did take this right turn. He didn't follow the fire road, so let's go see what's on dry foot. This is really well built single track. And if I'm not mistaken, the Forest Trails Alliance were the people who were contracted to build this for the Bay Area Ridge Trail and Napa Open Space. I've never seen so many butterflies on poop on the trail. I didn't think they went for that. All right, thanks. Just me.
Brian.
Cool. Hey, what's up? This is Chuck Ibis himself. Is that the Haka?
It's a highly modified.
Okay, nice.
Founder.
Nice.
Dropper, flat bars,
Nice.
DI2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Ridiculous, huh?
Scott Nickel, the founder and showrunner of Ibis, on his rigid bike out here. So cool. Put in miles. So the answer is yes, you can do it on your hardtail. Nice, solid climb. Feeling good. So nicely built. There's the pool. All right, come back for it. How's it going? Oh, what do you say? I think I'll just get my feet wet. That log was looking a little precarious. The Forest Trails Alliance mission is to connect California with trails like this. Single track, multi-use, horse, hike, and bike. I think that's a pretty cool mission. There's so much potential for something like this that would start in Napa. You know, the first day of your bikepacking trip, you stay at a nice resort in Napa, and then you dirt bag it on your mountain bike, but you connect all the way up to, you know, Cache Creek. Then you stay at the casino that night, and then, you know, the next day you go out. There's so many possibilities. When you get the trails made, the people will come. That's also something people always ask me, like, oh, where do you see this channel going? Like, what do you want it to do in 5 years? And if I can play a role in getting more trails built, then I'll be a real happy man. Because that's the hardest part of all this. It's easy to go ride trails that are already established, that someone worked their asses off to get made. But getting new stuff done and environmental impact reports and all that stuff is quite laborious and expensive. Now it feels extremely remote. This is awesome. Out in the backcountry. I've never had a ride feel so much like a hike, where I'm kind of meandering through, being able to enjoy everything so much like this. It's awesome. Probably just because I'm not hammering the pace and it's not super technical. It's nice and mellow. Kind of like it. It looks like we've reached the end. That was a solid adventure in climbing. So up ahead, not very far, is the town of Angwin, and I've heard varying reports. Half of the people say, you're not welcome here, don't come here. The other half say, oh, I ride here every weekend, I never have a problem. So I'm gonna leave it be until I have a local that maybe knows the situation better than me. And then, you know, someday I'll ride out here for sure. But I'm sure someday that trail that I just came off on will continue. It's gonna keep continuing up north. It'll probably hook into Calistoga eventually, the Oat Hill Mine Trail, and that will all be a giant legit route that you could ride point to point. Oh, that's gonna be so cool. Time to put the gloves on. Knee pads on. Let's get going down. Holy crap, my knee pads feel super tight around my calves. What the hell's going on? Just not used to them. After I used to wear them all the time. Feeling a little tight and loose here. Tight in the turns, loose on the surface. Not getting into the flow yet. Oh man, I'm already back here. That was quick. So far, we haven't got much payback for all that climbing. It's been very tight and loose, but this is an awesome trail for just sitting, spinning, and thinking. Sometimes you need that to get away from it all. Through the Manzanita. A little shaky. There we go. Finding some flow out here. This is the freshest of fresh air I've smelled in a while. Okay, here's the turnoff for the pool. Let's check it out. Looks like a good photo spot. All right. Let's see how the water is. It's not that hot out right now. Oh no. Yikes. Oh no, and it's slippery here. Quite refreshing. I'll just take a minute here to dry off while the mosquitoes come and find me and attack me. Got him. I didn't think that was gonna be that refreshing. It was incredibly refreshing. This is great. So now I got a little bit more downhill to go. But first I've got to try to hike the bike out. Hike a bike, throw a bike, whatever it takes. Whew. I think this would make a really good picnic ride. You get a big old French baguette, stuff it in your Camelback, some lunch meat, some beverages, go up to the top. There was a couple clearings near the top I saw, I forgot to point out, but it'd be a good spot. Lay out a blanket, hang out, have a picnic. So instead of linking my Strava in the description, I'm gonna link my Trail Forks ride log. That way you guys can click on it, add it straight to your phone if you want to actually do this ride. Okay, so if you're done, you go back to the car, head right. If you want to get more, go left on Valentine Vista. And we're gonna probably be up there in a little while. No ticks so far that I know of. Some of the grass has been pretty overgrown, but it's not too bad. Getting seriously high now. This is awesome. This slope right here is ridiculous. Looking up it and then looking down it gives me the willies. Hard right. a nice solid run out for that climb. Oh, that was it. I see the car. I'm glad I did that ride. You never know until you try. Now I am very itchy. Strava says we did 14.1 miles. So now the plan is to wipe myself down with some baby wipes, hit the road, head home. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the trail.